Keir Starmer addressed voters in Hertfordshire today with all the passion of a man granted a reprieve, and he had this message for his detractors.
I will never walk away from the people that I am charged with fighting for. And I will never walk away from the country that I love.
More surprising was what he said about Anas Sarwar, the man who only yesterday tried to destroy him.
Well, I've got a huge respect for Anas Sarwar. Obviously, he made his views known yesterday, but I want to be really clear that I'm 100% supportive of Anas Sarwar to be the First Minister in Scotland.
After yesterday's wobble, this was a day for conspicuous loyalty to the Labour leader. The Mayor of Manchester revealed he had always supported the Prime Minister.
He has my support, the government has my support, and they had my support when I put myself forward for the by-election.
And the Welsh First Minister, who remained silent yesterday, also found her voice.
First start by saying that Keir Starmer was elected with a clear mandate to be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And I support him in the job he was elected to do.
So is that it? Is Keir Starmer safe now? Everyone's loyal to him. Labour's one big happy family?
Nothing's changed. We're doing very badly in the opinion polls. We will have a real poll in Manchester in just over a fortnight's time. We'll have local government elections, elections in Scotland and Wales. Those are the real criteria by which the Prime Minister and this government will be judged by it.
Meanwhile, Kemi Badenoch was visiting one of her old employers today.
I'm going as fast as I can. I'm doing four. All right. So that goes on the tray as well.
Serving up sausage McMuffin with a side order of scorn.
It's quite clear that the Labour Party have lost confidence in Keir Starmer. Anas Sarwar said the quiet bit out loud. It is still a matter of when, not if, the Prime Minister goes.
And the most immediate threat to Keir Starmer comes from within.
I'm on my way to cover them.
Wes Streeting had jumped the gun to release his messages with Peter Mandelson before even the police were ready, earning this gentle rebuke.
We all need to ensure that we're all acting together in this because all the information needs to be pulled together. We owe it to Parliament to be totally transparent about it. We need to liaise with Parliament and with the police.
The Prime Minister has bought himself some time and perhaps another shot at reinvention, but he may not get many more. Carl Dinnan, News at 10, Westminster.
And Robert is here. Wes Streeting confirming he was indeed on his way to Cabinet. That's not the question I'm going to ask you. Listen, we talk so often, don't we, about how good the Labour Party is at bitching about its leaders, if I'm allowed to say that, on News at 10, and how bad it is at actually getting rid of them. Is it actually, though, credible that he'll fight the next election?
Well, if this was sort of normal politics, I would say no chance. I mean, Labour Party in the polls, sub 20%, some polls put them like sort of 17%. This is a level of support there's not been as bad, more or less, since they were created more than 100 years ago. There have been endless U-turns, endless embarrassments, humiliating resignations, sackings. Normally, these are precursors to an absolutely shattering loss of confidence by both members and MPs, which would mean that a leader would be evicted. But I don't think it is 100% certain that he goes, even if they lose the Gorton and Denton by-election in 3 weeks' time, which should be a safe seat, even if they're humiliated in the Scottish parliamentary elections, which on the basis of the last general election, that's one they should have won, even if they're humiliated in Wales, where, again, they've been in power forever, and they lose various other local authority elections. So why do I say, despite all of that, that he may still be there? One is because, every potential challenger has their problems, Burnham not in Parliament, Wes Streeting not that popular with the members, Angela Rayner still got this tax thing hanging over her. None of them seem to most of us to have an absolutely clear different set of policies from him that might excite people. And the other thing about him is, and this is, I think, almost the most fundamental thing, which you did see this week, he's an absolute fighter.
Yeah.
I mean, I talked to his old friends, people who've known him for 20, 30 years, and one of the things they say is, you know, anybody who wants to take him on, he isn't going to go quietly, ever, right? and you know, so I think, weirdly, there is I mean, we're going to talk about this on the podcast tomorrow, but I think there is a chance that, you know, he is still there in 2.5, 3 years' time.
The questions around Jeffrey Epstein that have engulfed the Prime Minister, as we heard earlier, have once again dogged Prince William on his visit to Saudi Arabia, as if he hadn't got enough to negotiate over there. The British government wants his trip to strengthen relations with Saudi's rulers. They want to use it to show progress on women's rights.
There have been many days in recent years when Prince William has wished other members of his family would stop getting in the way of his work. Today was one of those days. Coming to Saudi Arabia just as the last two British Prime Ministers have done was an important task. Government said, "Could you?" William said, "Yes." This place is changing economically, socially, and yes, changing for many women. But everything the Prince of Wales does to show that change is currently being seen through the prism of something else: Andrew. So just as the King and Queen have been asked in recent days, so too was William today.
To what extent do you think the royal family has done enough around the Andrew and Epstein issue?
William may not have heard every word. He was accidentally or deliberately some distance from the cameras at this point, but he knew a question about Jeffrey Epstein had been asked. He may not have answered, but his staff said he is doing the job he was asked to do here, show why the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is rapidly becoming the #1 state for Britain in the Gulf. Not westernising, but this vast country is rapidly modernising.
It helped a lot in developing women and empowering women in all sectors, not only in sports, but all sectors within the kingdom.
Getting on with the job is what royals do, so it's what William did today.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
He meant the e-gaming he was about to take part in. It's one of Saudi's most popular sports among its very young population. But you wonder at times like these whether keeping calm and carrying on is always the right course of action.
And having His Royal Highness here it's great to have him here. He's an incredibly popular figure here, as he is many other places in the world.
There's a lot of distraction about the royal family at the moment. A lot of this is getting missed at home because of other things. It's a shame, isn't it?
I think other people are better placed to comment on that.
The people better placed to comment are, of course, the royal family themselves. Prince William took a short plane ride over the Arabian desert this evening for a new set of engagements tomorrow. Neither he nor his father are currently willing to go any further than yesterday's statements about Andrew and being ready to help the police. Official royal visits are not always measured by how they are reported back home. The Saudis, for example, are very happy to have Prince William here and want him to share some of the delights of this remarkable tourist attraction in the north of the country. But the claims around Prince Andrew have been destabilising for the royal family. They need to find a way to meet the moment. So far, they have been unable to do so. Chris Ship, News at 10, Al Ula, Saudi Arabia.
Those destabilising claims Chris was talking about were being interrogated in Washington today. Survivors of Epstein's abuse and the brother of Virginia Giuffre joined Democrat politicians campaigning for a change in the law. They want to remove the time limit for victims to come forward. They are calling it Virginia's law. Time does not erase the harm, they said.
This was an overwhelming moment. Survivors of Epstein and their families united, backed by the most senior Democrat senator to push for Virginia's law. It's designed to remove time limits on the prosecution of sexual abuse.
We are introducing Virginia's law because survivors deserve justice, not expiration dates.
Thank you.
Hi. This morning, two of the self-described survivor sisterhood sat down with me. Charlene Rochard was lured into Epstein's orbit as a young model and abused for years. Liz Stein was working in a luxury store in Manhattan when Ghislaine Maxwell introduced her to Epstein.
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
Yesterday, Maxwell appeared before a congressional committee, repeatedly refusing to answer any questions.
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
That has infuriated survivors, many of whom were recruited by her.
I just really wonder why we keep giving her the opportunity to tell the truth, and we haven't given the survivors the opportunity to tell the truth.
They also feel a burning injustice that Maxwell and Epstein's powerful friends have been protected in the files, while some survivors' names have been accidentally revealed.
When information is released that exposes survivors, it is meant to silence us, but it's done the opposite. It's just made us stronger, it's made us angrier, and it's made us more steadfast in our pursuit of justice.
They also feel the royal family needs to do more after stripping Andrew Mountbatten Windsor of his official titles and residence. He has denied all wrongdoing.
I don't know if that's enough. I feel that he still has financial gain from the family that he was born into.
I think that he absolutely needs to be questioned and investigated, and we have heard allegations over and over and over, and they need to be followed up on.
Statements from King Charles saying his thoughts are with the victims of abuse, and Prince William expressing his deep concern were the first public comments on the scandal.
Do you think they need to say more, maybe even on camera?
Yes, I do feel like they need to say more and be sympathetic to the survivors. Although I understand it is the king's brother, it is hard when it's a family relationship to actually, come out and say things against your brother.
Charlene was abused at Epstein's Caribbean island, where she thinks she was filmed covertly.
Do you think some of the abuse you suffered was recorded?
It has been alleged that it was recorded. Jeffrey would know what was going on and he would question me about it. And if I was having a conversation in the car, he would know about it.
Virginia's law is an aspiration, not a certainty, but survivors like Liz and Charlene are determined not to relent in their quest for justice. Dan Rivers, News at 10, Washington.